Hey guys, I am here with the one, the only Eddie Trunk. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Good. I'm Leah. Nice to meet you. We have a gazillion and one mutual friends in common.
Okay.
But I think the only time we've ever met, there was probably a lot of intoxications around. The Moore cruise is one I can think of.
Oh well, there you're
Yeah,
not living if you're not drunk on the cruise. I'm coming up. The next one's coming up soon.
Yeah, like a week or so, right?
I've hosted every one and lived to tell about it, and I'll be hosting this one. And actually, in addition to hosting it, there's one right afterwards called Cruise to the Edge, which is a Prague one. I'm going to stay on board and do that one as well. I'm going to broadcast my radio show from both of them as well for the first time.
Well, that's going to be fun.
Be a whole nother layer of insanity.
You got all your Wi-Fi equipment set up and ready to go to make sure that actually...
I'm very not confident in any of it. So actually the studio back in New York is going to have a lot of best of material ready to plug in should it all fall apart. That's the truth.
Hey, but you know what? That's being prepared.
It's rock and roll, We'll see what happens. We'll keep our fingers crossed and hopefully we get a good signal.
We're a couple thousand miles out. It may or may not work, but at least you've got backup and you got preparation.
I know. I'm fully prepared for whatever's going to hit me. So
that's pretty cool. So I just wanted to know, back in the day, do you remember seeing Randy live? Did you ever get a chance to see Randy live?
No, I was just saying that earlier. One of my great regrets, unfortunately, is that I never met the man and I never got to see him play live. I live in New Jersey. And
I'm from Philly.
Oh, okay. So the next show on the tour before the tragic accident was Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
So I would have seen him.
You had tickets.
Yeah, I was going to go, and unfortunately, obviously tragedy struck and changed the course of everything. But I would have, the next show was scheduled. The next or second to next show was definitely New York. Wow. And unfortunately, obviously it was, that show ended up being played by, it was the one or two shows that they played with Bernie Torme. Which really, he only did a couple shows and it wasn't the right fit, as great of a player as he was. So I didn't get a chance to see Randy. And I being in rock radio my whole life, it's like I play his music all the time and on the Ozzy records, of course. And unfortunately, never got to see him do his thing live.
Isn't it interesting, though? He's one of those musicians. I was kind of coming up at that time. Like, I was just discovering Ozzy right around that time. And he's one of those musicians, though, that you feel like you knew him and you got to see him. Like, he's got a presence that's lived on,
Absolutely.
Only certain musicians have that.
Yeah, and if you think about it, what makes that even more remarkable is in what a very small body of work that was accomplished in. When you really think about it, it really is about two records, all respect to the Quiet Riot stuff, but those records were not even officially released in America. So, of course, people sought them out and everything, but it's really about those two records. And when you think about how much he's still loved and celebrated, like events like this and everything else, and still so much in everybody's thoughts, and there's still such a presence for him, to imagine that that's still happening now and really off of such a very small amount of stuff that he was able to create is remarkable. It really is.
Awesome. You're hosting tonight's show, yes?
Yeah, Brian reached out to me just recently. Brian's an old friend from Jersey, and I didn't know he was going to be out here really until a few weeks ago, and then when he heard he was coming out, I had one night free, and this was it. He said, will you come out and help me host? I said, I'd love to. So here I am, and looking forward to seeing all these great players and see everybody do their thing. Should be fun.
Awesome. We'll get in there and host the show, Eddie.
I'm gonna. Trust me, they can start without me. It'll work just fine.